first production. How does it feel as a producer?
This is actually our second production.
Second?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, and so, if we wanted to make this first, but I don't know if they would have let us.
Why?
Because I think we needed a little more commercial success and some experience before. So we made Love Ajkal first, and that brand, and then they let us make this. And it was a great experience.
Okay. And how did director Sriram Raghavan come on board?
Because we worked on a film called Ek Hasina Thi a few years ago, and I just thought he'd be the right guy to. We've grown up in the same kind of movies, and we like the same kind of films. Yeah, of course, he has slightly more, much more international kind of taste in European cinema, which I haven't seen much of. But generally, kind of commercially, we're the only two people on the set who know what each other are talking about. When he says, Alistair McLean, or Where Eagles Dare, or I know where all his lines come from. And I know the character called Freddie Kambata.
Yeah.
So that's from Freddie Mercury and Persis Kambata, who was like a model in India, who shaved her head for Star Trek way back when. That made quite a lot of news. So I know exactly what he's thinking when he writes things, and he writes interesting roles for me, and a good Sriram Raghavan scene. I think that the time is now for this kind of treatment, because films are also changing a little bit, and they're becoming a little less, typical masala in terms of
very
dialogue and stuff like that. So it's becoming a bit smoother. So let's see.
Okay. So how did Agent Vinod actually come about for you?
What do you mean?
Like, how did the idea all start? And
it's a pretty basic idea. India's always had this kind of, liking for even cheesy Bond rip-offs. People have gone to see them. So we thought if we make one, try not to make it cheesy, then it might be even more successful than the cheesy one.
Okay,
because there are lots of cheesy ones that were successful.
Cheese is successful. We love cheese.
Yeah. But the original Agent Vinod was mildly cheesy.
Yeah, I was just not.
Yeah, in 1977, about a nuclear scientist his daughter gets kidnapped. So that.
Are there any similarities between this one and?
No, just the title. Just and a couple of homages here and there. We've used a few names.
So why the name Agent Vinod? Why did you choose that?
Because I think it cuts across, and it's like a nice front bencher kind of single screen title. It was a title that I thought was ridiculous when I joined movies first.
Okay.
I actually had a poster of the original Agent Vinod because I thought it was really cheesy. But then, strangely, I thought that people, because there is this audience for cheesy movies like this.
Huge.
If we try and make it a cool movie, I wonder what will happen. So
we just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Okay, so you worked with Karina in Qurban, Ongara, and Dashan as well. Now, they're all very different genres of movie. Considering this one is a bit of an action one, how was it working with her in this movie?
Actually very interesting, because there's a good relationship in the film, and the characters are, they're both pretending to be people they're not.
Okay.
And they're both pretending to be bad people, whereas actually they're good people.
Okay.
So deep down inside they don't like the person they're talking to because they think they're a bad person.
But that's not really.
But actually they're a good person.
They're actually a good person.
Because they're a good person, they don't like the bad person.
Oh my god, I'm so confused already. Okay, so you look quite comfortable in your actions.
But that wasn't the answer. What was the question?
The question was, considering that this one was an action movie, how was it working with Karina?
She doesn't like doing action very much, but she's very good at it. And action means we don't have her trying to be her guy, which she gets flashed up quite a lot in movies.